Good evening, friends. It's very good to see people joining fast at 8 o'clock. I know typically in city like Mumbai or any metro, it's not really a good time because people are in commute, people are traveling, they are in traffic jams and all of that. So thanks for joining on top of all of that. We're going to talk about AI projects. What's AI projects? How do you manage AI projects well? And what do you need to become a good AI project manager? How can you get certified in that? So let's go ahead. Leading AI projects with confidence. That is what is the theme I already told you. Managing AI projects for strategic business impact is what we are going to talk about. What does this mean? What am I saying? Or how these projects, managing AI projects and managing projects with AI, how that is different. That's what we will talk about, at least on high level. So any project, any work that you are doing, you already know that you can use AI to do it maybe faster, maybe easier, maybe better. You can take help of AI to drive better results. That's what all of us know. AI is here to stay. AI is nothing new. All of us use AI day in and day out. Anyone here who doesn't use AI at all? I really don't expect answer yes here, but still it will be interesting to see if anyone here who doesn't use AI at all. AI is there everywhere. In day-to-day life also, we use Netflix, we use Amazon, we use Alexa, we use Hey Google. So we use AI day in and out. Then what is it about leading AI projects? See, using AI is something that we have to do. There is no doubt about it. But since AI is here to stay, businesses are need to get into, we'll talk about that. Businesses need to get into AI in a way that AI will help them take better decisions, improve their competitive edge in the business. So typically AI implementation or AI projects that will deliver results for business. So we are not talking about using AI on projects. We are talking about projects in AI. Projects in either implementing AI or projects where AI delivers the results. So how do you manage these projects? Are these projects basically different than our normal day-to-day projects? That's what we'll try and talk about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about this. I know that you may have questions. So what we will do is please bear with me. Make a note of your questions. We'll have a separate Q&A session at the end, and I promise that I'll answer all the questions before I close. So let's go ahead. So this is me, obviously. My name is Vaijayanti Kamath. I have done my PMI certifications. I have done PMP, PGMP, and you are reading it right. I have done CPMAI and I have also done PMI CPMAI, both the certifications. These are two different certifications. The first one, CPMAI, stands for Cognitive Project Management in AI. So it tells that a certified person knows how to manage AI projects. This was a certification by an organization called Cognilytica, and PMI has taken over Cognilytica. So that's a certification that Cognilytica already had, and that's the certification that I have done. PMI certification is PMI CPMAI, or as people popularly call it, PMI SIPMI V8 version 8. That is PMI Project Management Institute's certified professional in managing AI. That's managing AI projects is what they mean. So that's a certification which is based on Cognilytica certification, but PMI has typically changed it to suit it to project management profile or product management profile more. It was that, but it is now more suitable for that particular profile. So I have now, by the way, you cannot take SIP My certification. SIP My certification is retired now. So AI project certification you want to take? The best one is PMI SIP My. Okay. I have other agile certifications also, which I have not written all of them. Then I have 37, 38 years of experience in leadership roles. Um, Typically, I look into AI powered organizational or business strategies that give organizations business edge. I'm doing research, I'm doing my doctorate in AI, especially those who are working in AI. I'm doing it in explainable AI. Um, so my experience also comes from in fact my major experience in life comes from project and program delivery management, and major part of it is SAP. So, what else would you like to know? My industry experience. I have a varied industry experience because of my SAP background. I have implemented SAP in many areas. I have implemented in textile, I have implemented in pharma, in food, in engineering, so on and so forth. So you can see all of that there. I also am a PMP trainer, though nowadays I have not, like, I mean, almost for 1 year I have not taught PMP students, but that is one of my passions. Teaching project managers, mentoring project managers is one of my passions. So yes, PMP teaching has been my passion, though I don't do it. And I do train for CPMAI, or I do train project managers in how to manage the AI projects in a better way. So that's in short about me. So these are the topics that we will quickly go through. Obviously, in this short time, we cannot cover in depth, but yes, high level, I want you to get a good idea about what is the critical challenge in AI projects. Don't know if you're aware about it, but that is the reason why project managers will be an entity in demand who will be new AI power players. I gave that up, isn't it? Project managers. Why AI projects are unique? What is the difference between the project that we have been doing so far and the AI projects? What is CPMAI? Certification is fine, but otherwise, what is CPMAI framework? It's a so just to tell you in one sentence, it's a framework to manage AI projects. Then, do AI projects give results like our normal other projects? How do we find out if AI projects give good results or not? AI projects give good results or not will be only measured by ROI. Strategic ROI is how and what it delivers. We'll talk about that on that slide. So, first of all, if you are thinking about as project managers, I believe most of you are either project managers working in projects on in this or that area, maybe leaders, maybe team members, maybe senior team members, whatever. But if you are working on projects, frankly enough, you really do not have much choice whether to go for AI projects or not. That is something which you will have to do. So, somebody who does that in a better way, somebody who achieves better results, let me say, in AI projects will grow. So, for advancing in your career, you will have to know how to manage AI projects better. So, obviously, you will have to know the difference between two types of projects. What do you need to do so that your AI projects will actually give results? You will not have much choice between taking AI projects or not, that I'm sure about. So, if you know how to, you have an advantage in career. And for that, this certification, SIPMI certification, PMI SIPMI certification really matters because I can see that's the only certification in AI project management. That really is known, that people really respect because of the framework and the PMI brand. And I'll also tell you about the examination. That's a deal. Once I talk about all of these points, I'll answer all your questions. Okay, so let's go to the first slide. What is the critical challenge? What is the critical challenge right now? There is right now, before even we go to that slide, you know that most of the businesses are getting into AI projects. What am I saying? I'm simply saying most of the businesses, most of the organizations are proudly saying we use AI in our work life, or we use AI in our business. When they say we use AI in our business, they actually have to use AI for giving them business growth, good results. They actually have to manage or implement AI projects. And most of them proudly show the numbers, display the numbers that we are managing AI projects, we are getting into new AI projects, and how we are going to go ahead and how AI will help us do better in business. Unfortunately, what's happening is about 80% of those projects, it's a huge number. 80% of AI projects, first of all, AI projects are very much cost centric, cost heavy projects. And if they fizzle out or if they fail, that's a big impact, big negative impact. And the numbers are statistics. They are not something that came to my mind. About four people, like organizations, like publications like Forbes, McKinsey, they are giving these numbers. I'm saying 80%, but in fact, Forbes says 85%. So 80% of the projects, AI initiatives are failing. Why are they failing? Out of those 80% projects that fail, let us say out of 100 projects, 80 projects fail. And out of those 80 failed projects, 82% projects fail because strategic planning is not done well. So, out of total 100, more than 65 projects fail because they are not strategically planned well. What is that? You really don't know the people, project teams, and the senior leaders who have taken that decision to get into that project. They really have not they really do not have clear idea about what these projects should deliver. What is the business goal? What are we trying to achieve? They don't know. They have not clarified it. That's a strategic failure, which obviously, if you don't know what AI should deliver, you will not be able, the AI will not be able to deliver, you will not be able to take help of AI. So those projects are going to fail, and 82% of the failed projects fail because strategy is not clear. People go for those projects just because AI is something which is cool. People, oh, these people are doing AI projects. That's a cool factor. So many organizations do it because of that. And then the projects fail, and then they say AI is not useful. What has actually failed is the strategic planning has failed. Before the project takes off, it should be very clearly understood what that project needs to do. That is what is failing. Okay. Rest of from the remaining projects or failed projects, 68% remaining projects fail because of weak governance. Nobody knows who's the owner of what. So it's that famous story of everybody, nobody, and somebody. Nobody knows. There's no governance. So nobody knows who's the owner, who's has the responsibility. So if I don't know, if I don't know that it's my responsibility, it's my ownership, I'll not take care of it. Ownership or responsibility doesn't mean I have to go and do it physically, but I have to ensure that it is done well. So it's a leader's job. Okay, so strategy not done well, not implemented well on the projects or not done well on the projects, governance not managed well, and unclear ownership of the deliverables. This is not about governance, but this is unclear ownership of the deliverables. Remaining projects fail because of that. So, if you realize in all these three areas, who is in position to give good results? I want you to think about it. If you know the answer, raise the hand. Who is in position to overcome these problems because they are used to dealing with these difficulties? Who is that entity? Yes, Preeta, go ahead. Do I need to unmute you, Preeta? I want you to. Okay, go ahead, Preeta. And who's that? Who else has raised? Kausha. I'll give you also. Preeta, go ahead. Tell me. I'm not able to hear you, Preeta.
Project manager.
Obviously, of course. Good job. So, project managers are in position to help organizations overcome these problems if they know something. Yes, Kausha. Was that you want to say? Go ahead, unmute and tell me.
Same as project manager.
True. So, that is why this Mahendra, you want to say something? Shall I unmute you? Or I'll allow you to talk? Okay, go ahead. Yes. What's happening, Mahendra? I'm waiting for you to hear. Waiting for you to say something. Okay, meanwhile, whenever you can, just go ahead and say hi, Mahendra. Okay, you have muted yourself. Kausha, can you please mute yourself? Mahendra, anytime you want to say anything, unmute. Go ahead. Say hi and I'll stop. So you are right, Kausha and
Am I
Preeta.
audible?
Yes, you are. Tell me.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just saying that the core responsibility of strategic planning also lies with the program managers. They too have a big part in having this failures and accountability for the same.
Strategic planning responsibility lies with the program manager is true. What I these two girls said, project managers. The idea is projects and programs are a team basically. So major responsibility lies with project oriented teams. You are right, Mahendra. So AI is no longer an IT initiative. Software projects, in fact, in manufacturing companies also, IT teams will take care of this particular project. We want invoicing to be done. Who will do? We'll give the formula to IT team and IT team will go ahead and do it. AI is not that type of project. AI is for business and those people who understand business, who are subject matter experts, they are the people who should be involved in AI. So AI is no longer an IT initiative. It is a fundamental driver of business strategy. So, how AI will help us in our business, how AI will help us increase productivity, how AI will help us sell more, how AI will help us reduce the cost. So, how AI will help us do better business. It is not about giving some formula and working. Okay, so typically, IT team will not be able to take the ownership. Business experts, functional experts will need to be there. So success belongs to those who align AI outcomes with measurable business value. That's anyway true with any project that we take. Any project that we take, if it is not measured, if the success is not measured, we don't know whether we really received something or we lost something, right? So as we were saying, new power players are project managers, product managers, and program leaders. That is, program managers, or in some organizations, especially agile organizations, managers would not be a term that is used. So, program leaders. Typically, program leaders are decision makers. They understand business, they understand projects also. So they are in better position to take decisions. So these are the three areas or these are the three groups of people who will benefit from any AI certification because they are the people who will be leading AI projects, who will be new power players. So, in other words, as project managers, you have a huge opportunity if you get into managing AI projects, right? Let's go ahead. I did say that AI projects are different than our normal standard projects, is the term that I use because I don't really want to define projects and start from there. So, the typical projects that we have been doing are deterministic projects. For example, I was talking about invoicing. This is a list of 10 items A to J. These are the rates. How do we bill? Item A, rate is 100 rupees. Quantity the customer has picked up or purchased is 3. So 3 into 100, 300 is the bill for him. If he has purchased multiple items accordingly. If there is any tax or discount, do that. And the final total is the bill to customer. It is absolutely formula driven. And anytime any customer picks up A or any customer picks up B, the process is going to be the same, the formula is going to be the same, the result is going to be the same. So AI typically is normal projects that we do are typically deterministic. Give input A, get output B. Every time you give input A, every time output will be B. It cannot be that in the morning when I give input A, output is B, and in the evening when I give it, it is C, or when it is raining, it is D. It cannot be. Every time you give A, the result you get is B because our projects are totally predictable. I am not saying they are easy, by the way. They are not. But then they are predictable, they are formula driven, they are deterministic. Whereas AI projects are probabilistic. What does that mean? AI doesn't say or AI doesn't give exact output, it will give you a chance, probability of success. For example, when the result cannot be determined 100%, AI projects are better. Just give me a second. I'm trying to give you very simplistic examples, oversimplistic for this session. So one example of deterministic non-AI type of project we discussed was invoicing. Let us say we are a travel company, travel organization. We arrange trips and tours. A customer is saying, on coming 26th of January, I have 4 days off. Like it's a long weekend, I can take a leave or whatever. I have 4 days off. Can you suggest some good trips for me? Now, in this, if think about this question, I am in Mumbai. It's a 4 day trip. I don't want to go to the other side of the globe where I have to travel for 20 hours. Traveling for 40 hours out of 4 days will have no time left for trip and enjoyment. Whereas somebody who's not staying in Mumbai might want to come and see Mumbai. I have seen Mumbai so many times. I might not. I like beaches. So I might want to go to Kerala. You don't like beaches, you like mountains, you like hikes, you might want to go to north. So when the outcomes cannot be 100% determined, it's a probabilistic output. So yes, Vajanti, AI can say yes. So Vajanti, what are you looking for? You are looking for a beach trip? Okay. So for you, perhaps you can go to Kerala, or maybe you want to go to Coach Beach, or whatever beaches. What type of hotels would you like? This type or that type? And it can give me a range of things and ask me range of things, and every time it can talk about probability. It's not that 100% it can give you, okay, so Vajanti, you want to go here, this is your trip B, out input A, output B. It cannot say, it'll have to give me range of options and say there's a chance that you will get a good deal or there's a chance that you will like. Typically, AI practically, this was just a theoretical example, but typically, practically, AI is used for hyper personalization. I don't even want to ask this question whether you use Amazon or not. Most of us, sometime or the other, do it. When we go to Amazon, we see so many recommendations. So before AI, these recommendations were generally done for a group. So for me, before AI, Amazon could say a typical Indian middle class gray haired lady, she would like this type of shoes or maybe these type of dresses. But if I'm not that typical Indian middle class, I am somebody who doesn't sit at home. I like to travel, or I'm somebody who's basically, yeah, I'm from India, but I don't live here. My choices, my preferences will be different. I will not really like being clubbed together with other people who are not of my choice, like who do not have same choices as I do. So Amazon's recommendation will be of no use to me. In that case, what do we do? So based on what did she purchase last time? She purchased, say, t-shirts and jeans. So rather than showing saris for her, AI can learn from what has happened, the patterns, and it's not sure that this time also I'm going to buy those jeans, but it can recommend probabilistic output. And this is where the two projects differ. The hard difference in two projects is the first line, core logic. Our traditional software projects or traditional any projects, the headline is software, but it is true about any traditional projects. There are human coded rules or formula or algorithms that give the exact result that is required. But AI projects are driven by data. AI learns from data. When I log in on Amazon, AI can go through my past 100 purchases in a fraction of a second to understand what is it that I buy. So typically before monsoons, I have been buying from Amazon for let's say 20 years. And for every monsoon, they see me buying an umbrella. So yes, this time also she'll buy umbrella. So what did AI learn? AI read the data and it understood from data what my buying patterns are. It could recommend. So it is very personalized for me. That recommendation is very personalized for me and it is based on data. AI projects are very much driven by data. AI learns by itself and keeps on learning from the data that it gets. So our traditional projects, how are they measured? All the requirements correctly delivered. Invoice. Does it print as we wanted? Does it print the headline, organization's name and address, and then the customer's name as customer's address and whatever it is? Does it print all of that? Yes, it does. Good. These were the requirements I have given. Does it print the item details? We are a retail shop. So does it print whatever the customer has picked up and purchased? Yes. Does it print the rates correctly? Does it print the total correctly? Does it sum up correctly? Does it add the tax correctly? All of these things, 10 things I had given it, 10 things marked. Good. The uh, pro, the program or the invoice project is working well. AI projects are not measured that way. AI projects, in fact, never end because people are changing. The world is dynamic. So AI needs to continuously keep on learning from data it keeps on getting. So, how accurate AI is, how accurate results AI is giving. That is what matters, model accuracy. And what is the business ROI? Finally, AI is very expensive, very cost centric. Then why do we do it? Because it gives you big results. So what are those big results? Am I getting those big results? Am I getting growth in my revenue? Am I getting competitive edge? Am I reducing the cost? It may not be all the three, but whatever I wanted out of those three, is that happening as I wanted? Then the business ROI is there. Okay. Data, I think we talked about. Data, traditional projects also need data. You always use test data to see if the results are correct. So typically low to moderate data dependency is there, but AI total dependency is what I can say. What happens if the data is not good? In fact, our traditional projects typically that test data or sample data is cooked so many times that most of the times it's not good. But then also, if the formula, if the algo is correct, you get good results, fairly good results. Maybe you need to tweak a little, but yeah, you get good results. On the other hand, in AI projects, if the data that is given is not good, everything will go for a toss. You will not get good results. So the data quality will say if the model is drifting. Originally it was good, but it stopped learning from new incoming data. What will happen? Something, okay, let us say the typical dresses or shoes that you wear now, after some time, some years, you may not want to wear that. AI needs to learn that the shoes fashions had changed and it needs to predict new fashion shoes or footwear for you. If it doesn't, if it keeps on showing you old ones, that will mean AI is not on track, isn't it? It's not doing its job. It's not on track. So it is drifting from its objective. Quality of the outcome, quality of the result will be poor if the data is not good. And one major problem if the data is not good is bias. As human beings, we are naturally biased. We have our opinions, and they may be right, they may be wrong, but our experience has taught us to have those biases very strongly. Yeah, but then when we actually want to take decision, we also understand. See, we have something called judgment. We are naturally intelligent beings. So even if we are biased, let us say I am a bank and I give loans to people. In my mind, if you ask me, I have a bias against Gen Z. I feel that Gen Z, I don't, I'm just saying, okay? I feel that they may not return my loans on time. That's what I feel as a person. But as a bank, if I give loans, I cannot do that. I know that it is unfair and it is illegal. Just because I think something, I'll not give loan to a person who belongs to Gen Z. Is not correct and I can get into problems is what I know. And I'll overcome that bias. On the other hand, AI is a machine. It doesn't have its own judgment that way. So if the data is biased, AI will give biased results. And for those biased results, all the executives or all the teams that are working on AI projects are responsible. So it is your role as a project manager to ensure that the data is not biased. How will you do that is also something that we learn in SIPMI. Okay, so that's mainly about how AI projects are different, they are unique over our normal day-to-day projects. So since what is at the heart of AI, we said that at the heart of AI projects is data. If you think about predictive, how do you say, waterfall projects or agile projects, both these type of projects are basically undertaken for deliverables. Way of delivering is different, but they are meant for deliverables. They are not focused on data. So neither predictive nor agile method by itself will manage AI projects well. It needs also to focus on how data will be managed. And that is where CPMAI framework wins over. It is CPMAI framework does not say that you need to focus on some vendor specific philosophy. You don't have to have SQL database, you don't have to have Oracle, you don't have to have SAP. It is vendor neutral. You can have any database. In fact, your emails, which is an unstructured form of data, AI can use it. If you teach AI to AI can use that as data also. So yes, data lakes, any type of data AI can use. So it's vendor neutral, industry standard methodology for managing successful AI projects. It provides the language of AI for non-tech leaders. So when you learn this framework, you don't have to learn the machine language. You don't need to be an expert in machine learning. You have to understand how AI in principle works, how AI in principle delivers, in principle how that data matters. You will have team to do the technical things, but as a project manager, if you understand how that happens on the way, you are good. And that is what CPMAI framework does. Basically, it is a modification of CRISP DM, that was a data-based framework from 1970s, which was never renewed or modified after 90s. Nobody used it, but CPMAI has taken that as a base and they have converted it into their own framework, which has 6 phases, and they're iterative phases. When you go from phase 1 to phase 2, just see whether you are ready to go from phase 1 to phase 2. There are signals, red, green, and yellow. So how many signals are red? How many signals are green? How many of them are yellow? Based on that, you decide whether you can go to phase 2 or not. When you go to phase 2 and start working, you realize that, okay, we took a decision of coming to phase 2, but that was not really good. For some work, let us go back to phase 1, finish that, then we will be good in phase 2. It happens because as you go ahead, you realize if you have made any mistake. And if you made any mistake, the best way to overcome is come back, correct it, and go ahead. So these are iterative. You fall back to previous phases if required, not always, obviously. So that is one of the beautiful things of SIPMI framework. It allows you to fall back, correct, and come ahead. It is a phase-driven life cycle management. Those 6 phases drive SIPMI or any AI project. The first phase, anyway, we are not talking about SIPMI framework in detail here, but let me talk about the first phase. First phase is about deciding what business problem you are solving. Do you remember I said 80%, more than 80% of 80% failed projects are because because of business strategic impact, people do not know exactly what to deliver. This is where SIPMI wins. It doesn't go ahead unless the business problem is defined first. And what is the ROI expected and where we are in comparison? That is what we keep on checking. Are we going in right direction? Will we be able to deliver that ROI? That is what we keep on checking. And that's why CPMAI framework wins. So this is what is a way of measuring, okay? Let me tell you upfront, this is not the formula. See, what's happening is in AI projects, we work on AI project because we either want to reduce the cost or reduce cost failures. We want to improve the decision making. We want to make exact, good, precise decisions. Do we want to change the business model? Do we want to invest in new products? How much, etc. So decision precision. AI can help you faster to market over agile, in fact. Agile is there for faster to market, but more than agile, AI can actually help you delivering faster to the market. So being the first in the market or being the leader in the market and getting better results. So AI actually helps in getting scalable growth. So whatever AI is delivering for you, it usually is a combination of maybe competitive edge and maybe some part of work done easily or more efficiently. So is that improving? Is the predicted efficiency and strategic edge, competitive edge that AI gives us, is that improving? And at the same time, is the operational complexity coming down? AI can help you deliver better. AI can help you reduce costs. AI can help you get more revenue, reach the market first. AI can also help you reduce the work complexity. The complex processes that are there in the work, you can make them easy. Now, any ratio, see, this is given in form of ratio. So any ratio, how does it grow big? When the numerator increases and denominator decreases. So as the efficiency and strategic edge goes up and operational complexity comes down, your ROI, AI success index will go up. So for your project, you have to give it numeric or measurable data, like how exactly you will say that you have got strategic edge. You can compare between 2 quarters. What happened in last quarter? Where were we in comparison with the competitors? Where are we right now? So if we have achieved 10% growth, if that is the KRA we are looking at, yes, strategic edge is what we have achieved. So you need to decide numerical, measurable KRS before you start working on the project. That is what will help you get success, help you deliver successful AI projects. Okay. So right now, as I said, why are so many projects failing? We checked on that. Like typically business strategies are not delivered well was one of the major reasons. Data not managed well. There can be so many reasons. So right now, people do not know, are not really aware of how they can overcome all this problem. So anyone who knows how to manage AI projects or AI initiatives better has more than 25% higher or better earning potential, more than 85% opportunities, and not only going up once, it's a continuous growth which is faster. Well, I guess I really don't need to tell this. If you are working today, you actually know this. So how do you get this a CPMAI certification? Is join the next batch, next cohort, learn that 6-phase cycle, pass the certification. If you have any time done PMI certification, you have to remember that this is a PMI certification. So definitely it's not going to be something like something like CSM certification, something like what you really don't need to make efforts for. PMI certifications ensure that you have learned, you have understood the matters, and you know how to apply them. Just like PMP or PGMP, this certification, I wouldn't say it's too difficult. If you have understood, yeah, it's doable, good. But it is not something which can be taken lightly. So the next step is certification, and after certification, getting the results of those certifications. So these are the 4 steps, and this is the nature of examination. So for being an AI project leader, program leader, product leader, whatever, you do not need to have any technical knowledge. You do not need to be a person who has worked on models. If you understand business, that is better. In fact, if you understand where and what data you will need, data also you don't need to understand technical part of it. But why and what is, if you understand, this is a certification for you. You don't need to have any tech background or any experience of AI projects. In fact, no experience of any projects is required. Now, here is a word of caution. Technically speaking, SIPMI does not require any experience of working at all. Anyone who had just passed his graduation can do it, or in fact, 12th can do it. The only thing I want to say here is somebody who has already worked in business, managed projects. When you manage projects, you really understand how business works. You are working with teams, you are trying to understand your customer, you are trying to engage your stakeholders well, and all of that. So you really understand the business world. So such a person will benefit more than a fresher. So that's the only caution. I'm not saying the fresher will not benefit. I'm just saying fresher will not be immediately AI project manager. He'll get to work on it, and with CPMAI certification, perhaps he will grow faster than his colleagues. Yes. So look at those figures, and those figures are not by PMI or not by Vaijayanti Kamath. They are given by World Economic Forum, IDC, or Tremio. 90 million plus AI jobs are projected by 2030. 632 billion estimated global AI spend by 2028, and 86% of enterprise ranking AI and big data as top priority skills right now. That's by Dreaming. So this is a very tailing trend. What is going to happen in near future? So for these trends, becoming AI projects, if you are already working in projects, getting into AI projects is a better idea, is a good idea, is an idea that will help you grow. And for that, SIPMI certification will definitely help. So yes, friends, so that's all I wanted to tell you today, rather than getting into too many technical details. So if you are ready to lead, stop being a spectator of the AI revolution and become a part of it, become an architect. So before anything else, Aditi may have to say any questions. I already said that I will not close before I answer any questions. So there you go, friends. Please raise your hands so that I can allow you to speak, and then maybe we'll see. So please raise your hands, friends, if you have questions. If you do not have questions, then you have to tell me what is it that you like best about AI projects. So, yes, friends, QA session is on. No open questions for me.
Hey, Mahendra here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
Mahendra, go
we're
ahead.
discussing about AI in terms of, I mean, project management for AI projects,
Yes.
for the lack of better terms. But when it comes to AI, right, most of the projects are product oriented. That's what I'm saying. So, do you
Most of
think
the projects,
products
I'm sorry, I lost you. Most of the projects?
are product oriented, or the projects that are taken up in AI are more like products that are delivering some kind of output? So, do you think product
Product
management is
management
more,
projects is what you're saying.
yes, that's more
Uh,
relevant for AI projects than project management?
Not really. I mean, that is what perhaps your experience you might have seen. But
Mm-hmm.
for business strategies, reducing cost, if you think about reducing cost or research projects like pharma, the AI is already there.
Okay. So more in terms of senior management manager roles or strategic roles, I think that's right.
Senior management, I keep on losing your voice in between. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, I think there's some issue from my end. I was
No,
saying
no,
more
I don't know. Maybe connectivity issue is there, but tell me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think it's more on senior management roles or strategic decision making roles
Yes.
that
Yes.
CPMI would be
Yes.
more beneficial.
Yes, they will be
Hmm.
beneficial there, but on the ground, I in fact say even if when your data team knows about this, because AI projects depend on AI, data a lot. If your data team depends on this, they will really need to understand this cycle better. So it's not that only senior leaders benefit. All along, everyone will benefit with this certification. So, Lakshmi, I'm going to answer questions one by one as I see here, and I'm answering live. Okay, Lakshmi is asking, we want to know the preparation time for AI certifications. So that's only one single certification right now for project Lakshmi. That's called CPMAI, PMI, CPMAI to be more precise. After the training, if you start immediately, studying immediately. See, this is something of my personal take that once the training is over, you should start studying immediately because things are fresh in your mind. So if you do that, typically about 8 to 10 weeks is what you need. About 10 weeks is what I feel. And now, depending on your time, depending on how much energy you can give to it, a little week or two here and there. That's all. Okay, Lakshmi. You can ask me more questions if you have. Right now, I'm just going to next question, which is complex, PMP or CPMAI? So most probably, Bala, you're asking which is more difficult between the two, right? So if that is what you are saying, PMP. PMP is considered to be a little more difficult than CPMAI. Hinal. Where is Hinal now? Let me, yeah, go ahead. Hinal, you're on mute. Can you unmute and ask me question? Meanwhile, I'm answering. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Thanks. First of all, ma'am, it was a very interesting session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
The slide spoke about 80% of the AI project fails because of lack of strategic planning, right? Does this course, if we get satisfied or certified, or does this course cover these points in detail? What are the things we need to keep in mind so that we do not,
It
we
does.
enhance our strategic thinking? Would that be covered in this course?
Strategic thinking, it can tell you the area that you need to cover, but every business is different, right? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
working in pharma, let us say, and you are working in IT or you are working
Mm-hmm.
in software. The
Mm-hmm.
business strategies will be different for software and pharma. So overall, it can tell you what you need to do, but obviously, it doesn't get into business management training
Agree,
for
agree.
every.
So it would be different for industry specific, but the principles would be covered in short.
Yes,
Perfect.
very
That is
much.
what
Yeah,
I wanted to understand.
yeah.
Thanks, ma'am.
You're most welcome. So now, Imran, PMP or SIPMI, which we should attempt first? This is interesting question. Uh, I would go for attempt if I am there. It's totally individual personal choice. But if I am there, I'd say go for SIPMI first. My reason is SIPMI is slightly easier than PMP and you will be able to finish it faster. So let's say in January, a person starts thinking of and preparing, but before March and mid-April, the person can get that SIPMI. Okay, and already start getting benefits. So typically, I would go for that. But now that PMP examination is changing, that might be your call. If you have already taken, I don't know the situation. Somebody has already taken training, somebody has already started preparing, then the things will change. But otherwise, it should be SIPMI first. I guess I've answered your question. If not, Imran, you can ask again. Okay. That goes for everyone. What is the passing percentage? So again, that's a typical PMI certification. You don't come to know the passing certification. Typically speaking, if you do my mock test and score about 70%, you are almost ready. That's what I can say. That's not, they are not PMI's exams, but my idea, because I know that examination is that much you should be prepared. There is no given passing score, it's an adaptive examination. So I answered One more, do we need to be recertified? No, we're not talking about any technology as such, my friend. It is about how to manage AI business or AI projects for business. Business is not evolving as fast as AI is. So you don't need to get recertified, but it's a PMI certification. So it needs to be those PDUs and renewal, that cycle is there. Okay. Mahindra, any other project or program management certifications that help in delivering AI projects in markets? There is some Axelos certification. I don't know, typically because that's not very much in demand. That was for Mahindra. Again, if you have any questions, if I answer something which is not actually what you are asking, let me know. Dominic, do you think PMP? I think I answered that, right? Dominic, do you think PMP should be done before SIPMA or it can be done directly? What do you mean by directly? If you are saying that you don't need to take a training, no, PMI will want you to take that training. Their course is actually a packaged bundle. You have to take their course. If you have experience, perhaps you can go. But I would not like to say this, but I'm so sorry I have to say that PMI's course is for about 21 hours. You just read the bullet points. Nobody tells you, nobody's talking to you, nobody's answering your questions. So, not something, it is better to do a course if that is what you were asking. I'm not really sure. So, Dominic, please let me know if I have answered your question or you want something more. Was that Dayanidhi? Exam fees, that is a question I really don't know. Aditi, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you?
So the examination fees for members is 42,600 and for non-members it is around 54,800.
Okay. Dayanidhi, that is the answer given by Aditi. I guess that should be good. Preeta. With AI becoming very prominent, what are your suggestions to balance shifting between human judgment and AI driven decision making? Preeta, if I start on this topic, I'll not stop in 4 hours. That is the topic on which I'm doing research. See, AI is a machine and it computes very fast, it takes decisions very fast, and it learns by itself. You don't have to teach it everything. By with the data and patterns, it keeps on learning by itself newer and newer things, including all the biases and everything, and the decisions it takes can be catastrophic. So what you have to do is, and governments are doing this now. AI is all new, and that's why governments and different bodies are coming up with different compliances and requirements that will not let AI rule the human, if that is what you're saying. And that will make AI more responsible. So, responsible AI is the domain that we will be anyway working on. And responsible AI is a domain, by the way, SIPMA lays a very good importance on that, by the way, and that is the one domain in which there are huge careers now. Okay, so I again, Preeta, I think I have answered your question, but if that is not what you were asking, let me know. Ashish Kumar Jha, what is your fee? Why should I invest X amount apart from 48K? So, first of all, it's not 48K. I think Aditi told you something like 43 for a member or something, right? Like, I don't want you to get confused. And why should you invest X? I actually talked about it. PMI scores that does not have any examination. For the examination mock test that like you call, you have to pay extra $100. And if you look Google out, you will realize that mock test is not really that good. Even the course is like it covers everything. All the bullet points are there. But that material is anyway available on the internet. Why do you need to read those bullet points? There is nobody with whom you can talk. There is nobody you can ask questions to. There is nobody who can hold your hand and help you pass. No, that is what you get when you get a mentor. Okay? So that's Ashish. By the way, Ashish, if you have any other questions you want to talk to me, you can talk to Aditi and ask her to connect me to you. I'll talk to you. Any one of you, okay? Since this is Ashish's question, why he should do a course, I gave this offer, but the offer is open to each one of you. Kalpesh Chandra, CPMI validity is 3 years. In 3 years, you have to renew it. That's all. Okay, Vivek Agarwal, I'm currently preparing for PMP certification. So, do I need to go for SIPMI after PMP as well? If yes, those two are different certifications, Vivek. PMP is a very good certification and it will be required for coming decades. So, PMP doesn't get replaced or overwritten by SIPMI. But on the other hand, for AI projects, PMP doesn't cover anything. You are preparing, so you know that. And for AI projects, SIPMI certification will work. Okay. Mahendra, you have one more question. Course duration. Course duration is typically 1 weekend. If we need a little more, perhaps a little more. It's for when I teach students, I make a point like, okay, let us say it's a 2-day duration. We teach, you understand. Then when you start studying, you realize that when ma'am was saying this, I understood this. When I'm reading it, I don't know really. You can always come to me. It's not only for one batch or one topic. It can be a PMP student, it can be a SIPMA student. For me, my student is always my student. I'll not say like, you did only PMP with me. I'll not answer your SIPMA questions. That's not who I am. So course duration is typically 2.5 days, depending on how things work out. Kalpesh, you have one more question? You have Google Generative AI. That's a good certification, Kalpesh, but once again, it is about how you can use generative AI on normal projects or in your life or work life, that is. They are not about managing AI based initiatives. So it's a good certification to have, but it doesn't replace SIPMI. It's not what SIPMI delivers actually. What else? Rohit, you are in telecom. Show me one field where you're not going to use AI. Telecom and power are the most upcoming, fast upcoming AI domains. Okay. Sandeep Savarkar. PMP course itself should get upgraded for AI projects. PMP, if at all, it will get, I don't like to use that term upgraded, maybe changed, updated, with how to use AI on projects. PMP is about managing any project. So using anything that will help you manage a project better should be part of PMP. It is not about managing only AI projects. And that's why PMP and SIPI will always be two different certifications. What else? I guess. Give me a second. Exam fees is the answered question. Okay, Preeta's question was also answered. Sandeep, I answered your question too. Ashish, what's your fee? I guess Aditi. I don't look into fees. My passion is teaching, I teach. I guess Aditi, Ashish Kumar wants to know the fees. Can you talk to him tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Okay. So, Ashish, there you are. Aditi will connect you. Is there PDU that can be? Yes, I guess.
Yes,
Aditi?
ma'am, we will be sharing tomorrow the email with the PDU code with all the participants.
Yeah. The fees is something we did not talk about because I did not want some time to be spent on those details. I wanted to talk about AI. Fees, my team, ProThoughts team will come to you and they'll talk to you. Definitely. Okay. Aditi, please make it a point to note who are asking and get in touch with them tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything that I forgot to do, Aditi? I poll or something, right?
Yes, ma'am. Nothing.
I'll just launch that. So, guys, please answer that poll if you are here so that tomorrow those who answer poll can get that code from Aditi. She gets your names there, right? So, my friends, while you're answering the poll, I have to say something to you. I know that your evenings are very tiring after a full day, and I'm really very grateful to you for attending it, answering questions, and asking questions. Any question that you get today, tomorrow, day after, always remember that I will do my best to answer your questions. Just talk to Aditi, and Aditi will definitely connect you to me. So that's about it.